Good morning, good people. It's your man Investing with Cam. I wanted to come back on here because there are a lot of people out here, and including myself at one point in time, that thinks that you have to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars into the stock market every so many years in order to be able to actually get to a point where you may not have to work, to where you could live off of your investments, in which that's not necessarily the truth. Time frame plays a lot into investing. Most definitely it does. I wish I would have known what I know now when I was younger. And a lot of people can say that, to where we would all be more than likely in a lot better of positions in life than what we are. But hey, now's the time. And somebody that may be watching or may watch my video may actually be 20 or 30 years old and have a lot more time than what I have. Because in all honesty, I want to, and I would love to be able to retire from working in the next 20 to 22 years at the most, to be honest with you. It may not happen. I don't know. But if you've watched my past 3 videos, I was talking about having a smaller account, how to generate income with having a smaller account, and also taking that income that your account is generating you and reinvesting it into long-term growth stocks and income stocks as well. And so if you look on my screen, you'll see Apple, and just go check out my past videos too, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But as you can see, like I say on my screen, it's Apple. And so I'm going to scroll up here, and you can see here where it says position here that I only have about 0.32 shares. My market value is at $80.19. I'm down $3.81. So I roughly have about $85 invested in the Apple. And once again, if you watch my other videos, you'll know that I also hold Exxon, QQQI, Coca-Cola, and Nvidia. As far as my long-term plays, I do have some other speculative stocks that I hold. But as far as those 5, I only have in each one of those $85 invested, in which I started investing into these 5 stocks. This was on February the 18th. So I'm roughly averaging at this point $85 a month into each one of my long-term plays. And so if I'm able to continue that trend, I would be investing about $1,020 each month into each one of these long-term plays that I have. And so with that being said, a lot of people say, oh, that's not a lot of money at all. And then you may have others that say, oh, $1,000 a year into each one, meaning you're putting $5,000 a year into the stock market. You know what I could do with that? So it just depends on how one may view money, depending on if it's a lot or if it's not a lot, But with all that being said, now I'm going to go over to the dividend calculator that I like to use. And the reason why I want to go over here, because this is for the ones that think that only investing $1,000 a month into a year, into a stock, you're not going to ever see any type of increase or anything like that, because some people may only be able to invest $1,000 a year into only one stock. That's the most they can invest, and not into 5 different stocks. It just depends. But I want to show you guys that if you're only able to invest in one stock, let's say you're able to put to get to $1,000 a year, roughly $100 a month into one stock, and let's say that stock is going to be Apple. Okay. So I'm going to type in Apple here, and we're going to go down, and this is just for like the dividends and things. And so I said I had 0.32 shares or something like this. So I'm going to put the actual amount of shares that I have. My contribution per year now is $1,020 per year. I'm going to take that tax out of there for right now. And believe it or not, Apple averages about 19% growth per year. That's just average. And this is going all the way back almost 20 years that it's been averaging 19% of growth per year. And then here, as you can see, I have 20 years invested. So that's pretty much right at my timeline. And this is just one of my long-term plays. And once again, I mean, it could happen. It could be less. It could be more. But this is just possible. So when I hit calculate, my dividend portfolio after 20 years now, my ending balance in Apple is almost $174,000, in which I'm not worried about this annual dividend income here because I'm not investing into Apple for actual dividend income. But as you can see, I would have well over $100,000. And in 20 years, if I'm only investing $1,000 a year, then that's going to average out to roughly, I'm just going to round it up, let's just say $22,000 that comes out of my pocket. So $151,000 of growth in 20 years is what, based off of the numbers, I would see off of investing not even $100 a month, but investing $85 a month into Apple. So when I say that $85 a month, 20 years from now, especially if you're young, do it, because Apple is only going to grow. Nvidia is only going to grow. Invest in these types of stocks now when you're young. Don't worry about money now. And $85 won't hurt you. It's not $85 a week. It's not $100 a week. This is once a month that you would just drop into there. Forget about it. The rest of your money, you can go do what you like with it. And 20 years from now, if you're 20 now and you're 40, 45, you could have enough money to say, hey, you know what? I want to do something different than what I'm doing now. It may not be retirement money, but it depends. If you're putting it into Apple, or if you can double it to $200 a month, I mean, think about that. $200 a month, you're over $300,000 in your portfolio 20 years down the road. So I just want to show you guys this because a lot of people think, and I don't have a lot of people that watch my videos, but they would look at what I was doing. I was showing them, hey, I'm making $50 a month in credit from selling put options on this particular stock. And then I take that and split that $50 down, buy 5 different stocks, put $10 in each one of my stocks. And I try to do that every week. And people are like, oh, that's not no real investing. Well, think again. Because like I said, we're looking at $173,000 after 20 years, in which I got 20 years. I would love to retire sooner than that, but at least I have those 20 years or what have you in order to invest and save. I also want to show you guys NVIDIA. And so NVIDIA, same difference, investing $85 a month. If I can put more in there, I'm putting more into each one of them. But with NVIDIA, as you can see here, I have almost half a share of NVIDIA. And so I'm going to go to the old good web and see NVIDIA average stock growth per year. So NVIDIA's average stock growth, which is probably going to be extremely high because it had a year where, it just shot through the roof. As you can see, it says 21,000%, which is crazy. You see what I'm saying? And I think it's kind of hard to get an average growth on NVIDIA, to be honest with you, because recent 1-year return is over 50% with 3-year revenue growing. So the stock has risen roughly 525% over the past 3 years, which is crazy. So I don't think I'm going to use NVIDIA because it's hard to gauge NVIDIA. I also have Exxon. Let's see what Exxon stock average stock growth has been. Exxon average stock growth per year. Let's see Exxon, because like I said, I'll hold Exxon as well. So Exxon is probably going to be a little lower if I had to guess. Let's see, 5-year. So 5-year stock price return, 259% cumulative. So, all of these have extremely high returns. So I'm just going to stick with Apple. But you get where I'm coming from, because if these other stocks continue to grow like they're growing and you're able to get that money into them, you're going to have even more money in an NVIDIA or even an Exxon than you would have into Apple. but I hold both of these. But I'm just showing you guys this because it doesn't take you having to invest $1,000 every week or $1,000 every year in order to get to a point at some point in life that you actually have some meaningful money to fall back on. And like I say, I work for a living, so I can do this. And when I retire, I got my pension from my one job, and then I'll have this money here in order to be able to maintain in my latter years in life, depending on no telling how long that may be. But you want to have something, and even if I'm not here to enjoy it, I could pass it down to my children. They would be able to have something to fall back on. But I just want to once again show you guys that because it's not ever too late to start investing for the most part. Now, it is too late when you get to the point where you're almost retired and you have nothing saved up and you don't have anything coming in. But if you're young, working at McDonald's, working at Kroger's, summer jobs, whatever it may be, take a little bit of that money every month, not every week, unless you're doing, let's say every week you do $25 or $20 every week. But small amount like that. You don't have to think really big and put your whole paycheck in there either, unless you can do that and you don't mind doing that. You could, but you don't have to. But I just want to, like I say, talk to you guys about that, show you guys that, because a lot of people get discouraged when they see, I only have half a share. My value ain't worth but $85 and the stock is down. I mean, this is going to take forever. Not necessarily. Patience is the key. Patience and consistency, I should say, are the keys to, developing some type of wealth. You may not be rich, but you would have something to fall back on. And before I go, I just want to do show you guys QQQI, because this is my income play here, because it pays out a distribution every month. And right now, I'll just say I got 1.8 shares of it. Put the $1,020 annual contribution in there, in which the price of this particular stock is not going to really go up a whole lot, and or the dividends. So I'm just going to put 1, which is not going to really do anything, and I'm going to calculate this over 20 years. And so after 20 years of investing in the QQQI, it says here, with my dividends being reinvested now, after 20 years, I'll have over $130,000 in QQQI with over $20,000 in dividends coming in, to where, okay, I have my capital and dividends, and where I wouldn't even have to touch my capital. You get 20 grand in dividends, that's almost 2 grand a month coming in on top of whatever else money one may have. And like I say, the market is forever changing. There'll always be new stocks that come out. And so let's say 20 years from now, after I done built up 100K in Apple, 100K in Nvidia, 100K in Exxon, and now I'm sitting on 300 grand and I got 20 grand in dividends coming in, I could take that 3 grand if QQQI is still trading at $50, $60 per share, drop the whole 300K into it. Now my 20 grand in dividends that I'm getting is now with 300K, that would roughly be almost $40,000 more, so $60,000 a year in dividends coming in, and I don't have to touch my capital, plus whatever retirement I have. That should be able, even if I'm not rich. I know that prices change. I could be at the bottom of the totem pole as far as rich or poor, but at least I would have some form of income to be able to do something, buy me something, if you see what I'm saying. I'd rather have 60 grand coming in 20 years from now, not knowing what inflation is going to do, as opposed to not having anything coming in 20 years from now, if you see where I'm coming from. So, like I said, I just want to show you guys this. I hope this is eye-opening for the ones that think or thought that $100 a month is not enough. And once again, if you're 45 or younger, start now, because if you don't, you'll get to a point where you will not be able to reach these types of numbers, and you won't have as much comfortability in life, if you see what I'm saying, if you don't start now. But hey, y'all take it easy out there, and I'm just going to run one more thing. Let's just say if you're 20 years old and you want to retire at 60, and you're working hard every day, all day, we're talking about $3 million, and this is just in QQQI. You're talking about $3 million, 1% growth. Now, remember that. Let's just say if the share price don't grow at all. Let's say if the dividend doesn't grow at all. You're still talking about $2 million ending balance with over $360,000 in annual dividend income by investing $85 a month for 40 years in the QQQI. So a lot of people out there, y'all have that type of time. Don't look at that and be like, man, that's a long time. That's going to take forever. Don't look at it like that, because before you know it, those 40 years that will have gone by, or 20 of them will, and you hadn't started investing, and then all of a sudden you start seeing the light, and now you won't have as much, in which I get it. I don't either. But let's say if I don't have any growth, over 20 years, I still have over $100,000 in this one ETF with over $18,000 in dividends. I couldn't ask for much more. But Jay, I just want to share that with you again. Don't get discouraged. You know, like I say, I'm starting with an extremely small account. So that's why I wanted to do this, to show you guys the growth along with it. Because once again, I started with about $1,500. And this is starting in February. We're going to see where I'm at month to month, year to year. And just follow along with me. And I want to follow along with you. If you got any comments or anything, feel free to say it, state them. Subscribe, like my channel, share my videos, whatever you can do. I'd appreciate it. And like I said, just keep investing. Don't give up. Because, I mean, it was a time where I had a lot in the market. But life happens sometimes and all that, you know. So we can start this journey together. Y'all be safe out there. It's your man, Investing with Cam, and I'll talk to you soon.